So this is the start of day 5, but I might make this a day 4 diary. I don't really know. And I'd obviously like to keep up the same kind of progress as I've been doing up to now, but I think that's just not possible actually. So I might have, by pushing on too much and running on that really tough stuff, I think I've left myself a little bit vulnerable, and now I've got to the good stuff. This is what it was all about, getting up to here. Feeling a little bit delicate. So this is Loch Lomond, and we're actually staying on the western shore, and the route takes me up the eastern shore. So looking across the loch, I can see where I'm going to be running, and it would be some of the best running terrain, scenery that I could ask for. But now, okay, so at the end of day 4, I've clocked up 120 miles, and that's only 10 miles short of what 5 marathons would be. 5 marathons would be 130. So in my mind at least, I've done 5 marathons in 4 days, which means that potentially if I needed to, I could just run 10 miles today and I'd still be on target for the averaging of a marathon a day. I don't want to do that because that leaves me very, that just resets everything, and I've got some pretty tough stuff coming up. So I really need to see how much I can do today. This is day 5, this is the start of day 5, but it ain't morning. Oh boy, is it not morning. It was really difficult roads yesterday, no pavements, really windy country roads, people driving like idiots, so that was the bulk of it. And then I just started to develop quite a pain in my leg. So I'm 3 miles shy of the start of the next stage. So hopefully that's going to be quite doable. Yesterday, you might think, well, why didn't you just do it yesterday, Dave? I mean, 3 miles, come on. The reason is I physically could not. I could have walked it, but that's not what we're doing. We're running everything, as you know. Running or swimming, of course. So on the west coast of Scotland, you've got the River Clyde, and that comes into form sort of the settlement that was Glasgow, that grew into Glasgow. And then on the east side, you've got the River Forth, and that's the settlement there is Edinburgh. And the rivers are very wide, but they don't quite meet up. And that's the reason for the Forth and Clyde Canal. Just make a waterway to link them up, so you can get from one side to the other without having to go all the way around the top. That was noticed by early map makers, so Ptolemy, early Greek kind of map maker. Ptolemy spelled with a silent P. It's always important to have a silent P in your name, especially if your name is Rick. But anyway, he recognised the importance as well, and on his maps you often get sort of the main landmass with a thin strip of land which represents Stirling, and then the rest of northern Scotland, the Highlands. When the Romans invaded Britain, they obviously just marched everywhere that was easy, but they started to get into a bit more difficulty in the more challenging terrain. So the physical geography of Wales, for example, makes it easier for people to repel invaders, so a bit more of a struggle there. And obviously the Highlands, again, it's a very difficult sort of area to control. So the boundary up here, the kind of Forth Clyde line, was an obvious boundary, and it became the northernmost edge of empire for quite a long time. Everybody thinks of it as Hadrian's Wall, but there was another attempt to construct a wall that people don't necessarily know about. It's called the Antonine Wall, and that's sort of significantly further north, and that's at the line of the Forth and the Clyde where I am. So being here represents a couple of things. It represents the fact that I'm at the pretty much the northernmost extremity of where the Roman Empire got to in Britain, and it also means I'm on the verge of the Highlands. Right, important point now, that's the end of stage 1. I finally made it to Mulgai. How happy am I about that? So Mulgai's a weird one because it looks like you should say Milngavie, but you don't. You say Mulgai, and that's just one of those things to mark out people who aren't from around these parts. Mulgai is important because it marks the start of the West Highland Way, so that's starting stage 2, and the West Highland Way goes all the way from Milngavie up to Fort Will.i.am. So we'll see how we get on. So I'm about to start the West Island Way, which is actually very exciting for me. I'm hoping that the weather holds out, hoping that the midges hold off, and I'm hoping that the strapping on my leg kind of stays good. Whatever you're doing, have a really good day, and I'll see you later.